Remember that old song? Are you ready? We're live. This is an exciting topic we're going to record for, and always good to see Brian Holmes. I know in high school, what up, Holmes?
What up, Holmes? I've heard
And
them all,
now
bro.
I know a real Holmes, but reminds me of Sherlock Holmes.
Yep.
But in this case, he's investigating how to make more money in the share economy. What is that? Well, we're about to find out. Um, Look at the terrain, folks. As we come to you, Brian Holmes, author, speaker, marketplace master, uh, pastor, the list goes on, broadcaster. We can make a rap out of that. But a lot of success in your life, Brian, and you're joining me today in a live cast and recording. We're about to record for TV. Multiple cities: Oklahoma City, Dallas, Midland, Odessa, Andrews. I think even Arkansas and beyond. At least 7 cities live, and we're coming to you right now. But folks, you need to be aware of the share economy. You need to be aware of what's happening with the gig economy, side gig. Lots of books about side gigs. Hey, in 2024, the side gig economy started to decline. There's only one of you, and that one of you is getting older, and you got to be healthier anyway to no matter what you do. But we're going to talk about the share economy, how to leverage that, and we're going to go ahead and start. Everyone wants to talk to me right when I'm going live, but I'm honored to talk with Brian today. So, hey, it's another Let's Talk Live, and today we're with Brian Holmes, author, speaker, entrepreneur, minister. Good Lord, I mean, I could talk forever about this guy. He's also a dear friend, very successful, and he wants you to be successful too. And those are the kind of guys I like. So, how you doing there, Brian?
I'm doing great, man, and I appreciate your kind words. And just to clarify, and I'm not trying to be, falsely humble here, but whatever success I've had in my life has been because I've chosen to go down the path of trying to help as many people as I can, in all areas of their life. And the old Zig Ziglar quote, right? If you help enough people in life get what they want, you'll have everything in life you want. And that's kind of been my motto, and I've been very blessed and very fortunate. But thank you for the kind words.
Well, you bet. You bet. Well, some may have seen in the title of this live cast, and you'll see other things as well on the screen. What is the share economy? Never heard of that. We heard of the gig economy. People driving their Ubers and DoorDash and such. But that still depends on you being very, very busy and getting out and working as much as you can, and then wanting to have a life. I know what that's like. I've spent my whole life running like I was in my 20s. I still do. I'm 55, but I'm making a shift right now, and the shift I'm making has everything to do with what we're going to talk about, and with Brian Holmes as well. But uh, if you never heard about it, um, the share economy, you need to hear about it now. You need to remember this. And what is that? Well, if you go to Google or even Chat GPT, what would it say? Sharing economy, collaborative economy, peer-to-peer economy, a model based on sharing, renting, or borrowing of goods or services, or often facilitated through digital platforms. No matter what form it is, it enables individuals or businesses to share underutilized assets with others. And there is a way, folks, that you can be ahead of the game. Wayne Gretzky, the master of the pass in hockey, I've lived by his motto my whole life. They asked him, "How are you the master of the pass?" He said, "I don't go to where the hockey puck is, I go to where it's going to be." Well, in
Amen.
my endeavors, my whole life, I've always gone where it was going,
Mhm.
always ahead of the game. But I was surprised to learn about the share economy. So, Brian Holmes, what in the world's going on in the world, and how does this apply to their lives?
Well, let's just kind of unpack what you said there a little bit. We're living in very unique and different times now, and I think that's been emerging for certainly longer than the last 5 or 6 years.
Right.
But no one could argue that 2020, 2021, all the things that we dealt with in those years fundamentally changed the way people look at life, look at making money, look at doing business, look at, community. Just it really impacted all of these different sectors, and I'm not so sure. In fact, I am sure it wasn't all super healthy, no pun intended. But the point is that, I think what's happening in 2024, 2025 now, that people are recognizing, I've been being told what to do. I've been trading my time for dollars. I show up at my job, I clock in, I clock out, I do that. And at the end of the day, that type of mindset and parameters that are sort of forced upon us because of the culture we live in, basically people are beginning to rebut. They're beginning to say, I want freedom. I want to be able to, I don't want someone telling me that this is as high as you can go or this is as much as I can earn. And here's the other thing too, man. The ramifications of the pandemic and all the stuff that went on with that has dramatically affected the economy, Brant. And we've got right now. I could pull up article after article after article on a screen share here and show you that 70% of Americans right now are living paycheck to paycheck, and almost all of them are in deficit. Meaning, the money they're bringing in now, inflation has caused it such that the money they're bringing in is not enough to even maintain the same standard of living they had 1 year ago, 2 years ago. And so there's this gap between, what's coming in and what's going out, and people are struggling. So this whole idea of side gig, side hustle has been going on now for a while. A lot of people are working part-time jobs, side gigs, side hustles, Ubering, door dashing, whatever the thing is. And granted, you can make some money doing that, but think about what you're trading. If you're working a full-time job, or 2 or 3 part-time jobs, and then in order to make ends meet, you've got to go out and do another side gig or another side hustle. What kind of a life is that? There's no freedom. There's no time with your family, with your children, with your wife, or with your spouse, or whatever the case may be. And I'm just telling you, I think people are sort of fed up, and I use that term loosely, but I think people are realizing, with regards to health, for example, I'm not letting somebody else tell me how to take care of my body. It's so funny to me, Brant, and I'm not going to make this a political speech here, but it's so funny to me how certain groups of people will literally want to punch you in the face if you tell them that they can't do X with their bodies, and no, it's my body, my choice, But then when it comes to how we are cared for with our health and our wellness, they want to mandate to us, no, you got to do this, you got to do it this way, this way, this way. I'm like, no, there are things that God's put in creation. There are supplementations, and there are various ways to go at this. And the point is, if people are taking ownership of or stock in their own care for health and wellness, why would we not want to also think in terms of pursuing our own path to financial freedom, right? And so what's happened now is the gig economy, the side hustle economy has morphed into this idea of sharing. It's a share economy. How can I partner with an entity that has something really, really worthwhile to share? And how can I be compensated for helping them get that message out to the world? And that whole affiliate idea has been morphing now, and it's transitioned into this beautiful, beautiful model where people can simply share one to another, one-on-one, word of mouth, and they can actually grow over time a following of people who are purchasing and consuming through their network. And all of a sudden now they're being paid 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it's a beautiful model. And that's kind of what this has evolved into now.
Well, Brian, I love you quoting Zig Ziglar. I've lived by that too.
Love Zig.
I remember successful people make others successful. I didn't know that he said, give people what they want, they'll give you what you want. I was talking to Jim Van Zeen yesterday, and I was commissioned about 17 years ago to coach in performing this prodigy, amazing young woman, 16 years old, for the Tulsa Opera and the Tulsa Ballet, and she, of course, she got it. But I would always tell her, give people what they want, they'll give you what you want, Yep. I mean, just flat out. I love you quoting that. But with this share economy, I know that it works. I've already experienced it. There's in my line of work, uh, people have always heard about affiliate marketing, but they don't really know what it means. It's
No.
like the Princess Bride. That word, I don't think that word means what you think it means. It really doesn't. And the people that I've seen try to apply it, they just don't have the numbers to really benefit them. But this type of share economy affiliation, I know works because it worked for me with no selling.
No.
And you think, well, how is that possible? Well, I was desperate for an answer. I needed a problem solved in my life, in my health. And my friend, Brian Holmes, introduced me to something that has changed my life. And I just shared my results. Let me tell you something. It's an awful good feeling when you can honestly
Yeah.
share something good with people and you get results, they get results. Um, it's an amazing feeling that's already the reward. But I got to tell you, it's awful nice, to be able to cover your car payment with
Yeah.
just doing that,
Yeah.
or even more. I did it, and with no manipulation, with no coercion or false claims. I'm just telling the truth. I don't even have to. Now, don't get me wrong. I could sell. I could sell. My wife says you could sell a popsicle to an Eskimo. I can. But I don't even have to sell what I'm already seeing in a return with the share economy. Because again, first and foremost, I want to see people live out their dreams. Hey, remember I'm the dream maker, right? I got that nickname 40 something years ago, loving helping people step into their dreams. And I do that. And so, but you can't live out your dreams if you're dead or if you're
Right.
dying.
That's right.
I met a man that spent his whole life not taking vacations and not doing anything with his family. And then he's ready to retire. He's dying.
Yeah.
And so what's that for? And then I've seen the results when inheritances go to people who didn't earn them. And often the lack of purpose and the escapism into drugs and other things, uh, that's a whole nother set of shows there. So I believe I already seen, I'm already reaping from just telling the truth
Yeah.
and not selling. But something you said a while back, not during this show yet, is Brand, do you use Amazon? Yeah, I use Amazon all the time.
It's,
Do
you
you
know,
know that you're not buying from Amazon?
you're not.
You're buying
Yeah.
from an individual in a shared economy.
Well,
And in
I'll,
did you know that? So those of you who know what I'm talking about, you got Amazon boxes coming every other day.
yep.
And where did I get that from Amazon? No, you didn't. You got it on Amazon,
Yep.
but you got it from an individual
Yeah. Who
who
has a
bought
store on Amazon?
a store. They bought into that store, and they're using the affiliation shared economy
Yep.
model. Did you know that, folks?
Now here,
Well,
let me take it a step further because
yeah,
I've
yeah.
never told you this.
Okay.
I've got a really nice microphone here. You've got a beautiful one there. It makes your voice sound beautiful. And, you've got various tools and things you use with your television work and all the things you do. Somebody asked, I'm sure you've been asked 1,000 times, hey, Brent, I love that microphone you use,
Yeah.
man. Where do I get that?
Right.
So with Amazon, you can sign up as an affiliate with Amazon and you can have your own Amazon account and you can send your friend or the person who asked you about your microphone a link that's tied to your account, your Amazon account.
Yep.
Amazon sends you a commission for just telling somebody about your microphone that you got on Amazon. I'm just saying, we live in a share economy. Everything. Let's take it outside the monetary realm for just a second. How many of you watching this right here have seen a really awesome movie? I know when I saw the most recent Top Gun movie a year or so ago, I mean, I wasn't just out, hey, I'm going to go market the Top Gun movie for these people. No, I just freaking told them about it because I love that movie. My daughter, she's a vocal performance major, a big theater person. She does a lot of stuff in musical theater. And, we just recently the Wicked movie came out, one of her favorite Broadway shows. But the movie came out and I'm telling you, man, she probably sold 5,000 tickets to that movie just by sharing. So she was generating revenue for someone because she was willing just to say, you got to go see this movie. Okay. Yeah. This is the share economy.
Right.
And what we're talking about here is We have something from a health and wellness perspective that is absolutely changing the world. Never been seen before. Never ever been brought to the market before. We're the only company who has it, by the way. And now what we're seeing is we have 40, 50,000 people around the world who, just like you, Brant, just like me, just like so many others that we know personally, are seeing their lives transformed because they're feeling better. Health issues are being resolved.
Right.
Visceral fat's coming off. All this stuff is happening.
Oh, yeah.
And think about this. If you get results, or you like a movie, or whatever the metaphor needs to be, and you decide, you know what, I'm going to tell somebody about this. What if there was a way for you to be compensated for that every time you share with somebody? I got one bigger for you. What if there was a way that every time that person, when they get results, the one you shared with, when they share with a handful of people, oh, wait, you get paid on those too. What? And so what you begin to see happen here is that we have a beautiful model, a referral marketing type model that extends out beyond just you and the person you share with. But over time, in some cases, for some people, it's a very short space of time. You wind up having thousands of people who are purchasing through your distribution network within weeks, months, and you're being paid on all that happens within that model. And I'm just saying, I think we've kind of found the panacea here of how to solve two of the biggest problems we have in America right now. I think, would you agree with me, Brant? I mean, this might be the most unhealthy nation in the world.
It is. And my mother, who's brilliant and beautiful, she told me 20 years ago, she said, Brant, a victim of this culture is out of shape, overweight, addicted, in debt, with a house full of junk.
There's your list. That's it. Yeah, that's brilliant.
Out of shape, overweight. I mean, folks, the poison in our food, they won't even sell our food overseas because it's outlawed. Air, water, addicted. I got to get my Starbucks in, or got to get my coffee. You know, in debt with a house full of junk. Man, I've been that before. And, you know, yesterday I had a conversation with an awesome man, and he's in the share economy. If you shop at Amazon, folks, it's like you're
already doing it.
You're already doing it. This guy makes $23,000 a week. And what is he doing? Well, he's running around. He Ubers and DoorDashes and works 3 jobs. No, he's doing what he wants to do because he tapped in. Now, I've looked at this before it was called the share economy, affiliations. I looked at this. I've looked at this. It's safe to say for at least 20 years, I've looked at it. It was a new thing. ClickBank was a new thing, and such. But it did not. Number one, it did not yield the results. Number two, you had to sell. You had to do. Thirdly, to usually to get involved in the share economy, or your own Amazon store, you need to spend about $10,000.
Yeah, a lot of money.
And the guy that I talked to yesterday, Brian, that averages 25,000 a week. Guess how much it costs for him to get into the share economy, or the average person to get into the share economy? 10,000? No. 5,000? Oh, that's even better. No. 3,500? No. 1,500? No. 500? No. It's a $200 decision.
Yep.
I believed in it so much because I needed help. I saw someone else who needed it. I knew that they needed to be healthier, but I also knew they needed more money, because they're very gifted and they need more money for their family. 73-year-old married to a 30-year-old with small children.
Wow,
okay?
That's a story.
Well, guess what? I believed in it so much, I bought his first month because I knew it would work for him.
Yep.
And now he doesn't need me to buy anything. He's going crazy. He is looking great. His skin has changed. His energy, a lot of things have changed.
A lot of things changed.
He's a very happy man. as am I.
He called me yesterday, by the way. I didn't tell you this. He called me up and it kind of took me off guard. He said, Brian, he said, I've got to stop taking this stuff. I said, okay. He said, yeah. He said, I've just got too much energy. I feel too good. I look too good. My wife's chasing me everywhere.
It's true. He texted me at 1 o'clock
We
in
were
the
howling,
morning.
laughing.
Well, that same guy, famous author, and you'll see more of him, folks. He texted me at 1 o'clock in the morning, his time, my time. He said, "I'm sorry, but I feel like I'm in my 30s and I can't go to sleep. He's not jittery.
No,
He just
no.
hasn't. He calls it the fountain of youth. I don't know how many people he's already shared it with that they've jumped on board too. Man, I've been approached by everything. I've even tried her. I needed to lose weight. I needed it for my back. I tried the food bars. They melted everywhere. Tried the powders, or like I joke with Christy, like Nacho Libre, the powders and lotions. No, nothing worked. Did the shot, did the skinny shot. I told someone
You spent
yesterday,
some money on that stuff too.
$500 a month. Here's the
Unbelievable.
bottom line. Look, we're getting older. We got to be healthier. We need more money. I can't do the gig economy 5, 6 times all the time, 7 days a week anymore. And I don't want to. I've enjoyed my life more the last 2 years than I have all in my whole 55 years. And so this is what I'm moving into. I believe in it so much and I see it working. But the bottom line is, when you look at passive income, you and I have done workshops all over the place, Brian.
Oh
You've
yeah,
done more than I've done. You've done workshops all over the world. I've done a lot of workshops, marketing workshops. I've done a lot of mentoring. I've done a lot of coaching. $1,200 an hour, folks, not bad. And let me tell you, and that's pretty good. You've done a lot more than that for per event and per hour. But the bottom line is usually to buy into the share economy, what we're calling it now, you're looking at $10,000 or okay, here's another passive income. In America, there's active income and passive income.
that's right.
It's hard to build retirement or wealth with active income. You might have a retirement account, but look what's happened. What happens now? You
Yeah,
get fired the day before you retire.
yeah.
Okay, well, then what? That affects you too. Or you get bought out at half of what you've worked 30 years for. So there's no loyalty. Job security is a myth.
It's a myth.
But
Totally.
in America, there's passive income. If you ain't working, you ain't earning. But there's active income. I'm sorry. But passive is, and in my workshops, I talked about, there's real estate. I know a lot about real estate, but I've just never gotten into that scene. I did the marketing income retainer passive thing.
Hmm.
But passive income, you're earning no matter what you're doing. You and I have a heart to minister to people all over the world,
Yeah, we do.
regardless of how much money they don't
That's my
have.
primary calling in life, man, right there.
Me too. To me, tonight, I'm about to jump in the car and travel 4 hours and do worship for free. I'm actually going to pay someone to help me too, because I want to. The bottom line is there's so much joy in being able to do that versus, well, how much money you got? I can't. I mean, when we were booking these major Christian bands and we love them, no shame, no blame. Well, we need $30,000 to show up, or
Oh,
fifty
absolutely,
thousand, or
dude.
100,000.
Absolutely.
Man, I want to go where they don't have money, and I don't even have to take an offering, right? Nothing wrong with that. If you're supporting your ministry or you're nothing wrong with that. It's just for me, there's places I want to go where I know they don't have any money, and well, it takes money to get there.
Yep.
Well, I'm sure looking forward to using this share economy. And listen to me, I've studied affiliate stuff for safely for a couple decades. I've studied it. Okay, it started in Rome. Okay, that's how ancient the concept is. Okay, but what I'm
Very few
saying
people
is,
understand it. I'm
if if
impressed.
if you shop Amazon, you're buying from a guy like you or
Yep.
me or
Yep.
Brian. Bottom line. But in order to have a store like that, you need $10,000. I'm not going to do that. I spent 200 and I have just as much or more potential for the same amount of return. And I happen to be doing it with something that has changed my life personally. And because I want to see everyone do, I want to see everybody do well, Brian.
Yeah.
I want to see every minister that wants to reach people for Jesus do well. I want to see every person that they may not be a minister, but they build houses for in Juarez, or they give to the homeless, or they give to organizations that help children. I want to see them do better.
Yeah.
So, as excited as I am about the share economy, my number one excitement is I am seeing lives being changed like mine has been changed.
100%.
But what do I want to do? I'm 55 now, dude. I'm doing pretty good for 55. But you know what though? In 10, 20 years, am I going to be able to do what I've done? Uh, maybe, maybe not. Ivan's doing it, so probably maybe if I continue it, and I will continue on this hero product. But we just want to tell you about the share economy to just put a bug in your ear, let you understand what's going on, and remind you that every time you shop Amazon or Walmart, remember all the times you go to Walmart or Best Buy or any online store and it
Any
says
online
not
store.
in stock, it will ship to you. Those are affiliates, folks.
Yep.
They don't carry it in stock because a guy like you or me or a woman like you or whatever, they're the ones that's sending you the product. Did you
Yeah.
know that? And then
Yeah.
Guitar Center or Walmart or Best Buy or Amazon gets a cut from that.
Yep.
That's what that really is. That's the truth. So know about the share economy, and we're going to tell you more in coming episodes as well. What do you think, Brian?
Well, let's just put a bow on this here. It's really quite simple. If you already have all the money you need and your financial state is right where you think it ought to be and where it needs to be, this message might not even be for you
Yeah.
on the share economy side of things, but you might still want to reach out to Brant because I 80% of Americans right now fall into a category, Brant, of either being overweight or obese, and the visceral fat and the very high levels of inflammation that come with that, those parlay into almost all disease is associated with visceral fat and inflammation. So if nothing else, you owe it to yourself to take a really serious look at this hero product that Brant mentioned that he's personally been transformed by. That's one side of it. But here's the deal. 70 to 80% of Americans right now are not in a position financially where they want to be. And even if they're barely making ends meet every month, the stress it's causing them is racking their bodies and just causing family arguments and strain between relationships. And my thing is, what if there was a way forward? We have two problems in this country, Brent. We have a health problem, we have a wealth problem. And what if both of those could be addressed and resolved through just a very powerful model that we truly, we being the folks that we work with and on this project, we believe that God has given us a stewardship of something that's so unique, so special, both on the product and health and wellness side, but also on the business model side, where you could become Brand an independent business owner without having to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars to
Right,
buy a franchise. Imagine
right,
that.
right.
And make more money net quicker than those guys that go into the big franchise businesses. The point is that there is a way forward if you're willing to think a little bit differently, change your paradigm, and say, okay, I've been praying, I've been hoping, I've been whatever your mode of operation is, that something would come along that might give me a path. I'm just saying this could be what you've been praying for, what you've been looking for, and we encourage you to take a look at that. Brand, how do they do that?
Well, they just make contact with you or me. That they can message on one of these Facebook pages they're seeing right now, this recorded live, or when this is broadcasted at the bottom of your screen, you can also email me, livewithbrant@gmail.com. If it was for nothing more than the physical benefits I'm experiencing, you need to get on this stuff to
100%.
execute your life's mission. But on the business side, which I haven't talked a lot about until now, um, let me tell you something. There is no, in my opinion, there is no lower buy-in for long-time passive residual income at this stage in your life than what we're talking about. It's a
Yeah.
$200
Insane.
decision, and so if you're looking at vending machines or maybe starting a magazine where you're selling it, you still have to sell. This situation, there's no selling. If you can copy and paste a link from someone who wants to know why you're looking so good, or they want to know why at the age of 55 or 60 or 70 you can take off your shirt and at the beach again, or you have unlimited energy and vitality and libido and all that. Well, if you can copy and paste, you can do that. But on the share economy, that you're already taking part in on Amazon and any other place you buy online from individuals. Those are platforms. We were talking about the individuals in
Yep.
the share economy. There is no lower buy-in that can yield a not only a living but actual long-term wealth. Why not do it with something that everybody needs, everybody wants? You know,
Everybody.
the anti-aging industry, the weight loss industry, the libido industry is a top health industry right now. That's what it is. So make contact and benefit from it now. Brian Holmes, thank you for joining me.
My pleasure.
Can't wait for the next one, man. And it'd be good to bring on some doctors too in this specific one. But I wanted to bring to you the share economy. We've already exceeded our recording time, so now we're just talking here real quick. But I wanted to share with you, and I've studied this for decades. Okay, hey, I'm a champion of multiple streams of income. I've had to be to survive. Okay. And so, the water, we can talk about this in another show. You know, the Garden of Eden watered by seven streams. Every man needs seven streams of income. Do you know how many inner city young men I've told that to, and it blew their mind and it changed their life?
Yep.
Or how many fathers, how many ministers, how many women, they get it. And so now that we have awakened, everyone is trading their time for money that doesn't exist. It's not real.
Yep.
So if you're going to survive and thrive, then why not beat the game and beat the system with a lower buy-in than you're going to spend this week in junk food?
That's
So,
such a great point, man.
right,
This week. Yep.
this week you're going to blow more money than you can change your
Or at
life
Starbucks.
and buy into a scenario in the share economy that happens to be the number one selling economy right now, which is health and anti-aging and fat loss. So it works, but you can't even buy a vending machine for $200.
Oh gosh, no. Not even
Anyway,
close.
we're going to take some calls though, in either the next one or the one after that. And we can't wait for you to hear from people whose lives are being changed and to their pleasant surprise, have money in the bank that they normally wouldn't have. So until next time, thanks so much,
I want to
Brian.
reiterate before you close off there,
Yeah.
make sure that if you want more information, we're going to send you over a link. We're going to copy and paste. We're going to send you a link that
Right.
has all the information in it. You can just go through it at your own pace, livewithbrant.com. And then, or you can just message him directly on these platforms. God bless.
God bless. See you next time, folks. Be healthy.